Love. What is it when we strip away the fairy tale that we've all been sold on? It is layered and it is complex if we really sit and we think about what it truly means and how we want to achieve that. Today I have a Reddit post that got me thinking about this idea and what love really means to me. Hi there. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. My name is Raquel Perez, and I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Colorado. This is where I share stories, insights, and other useful tools like meditations to create space for insight. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, subscribe to the channel down below. I also have a free gift for you if you stay through to the end, so meet me at the end of the video and get more details on that free gift. With that, we are going to go ahead and jump into today's story. And the title of the story for today is I Stopped Seeking Love and My Relationships Improved. A few years ago, I used to think love was the ultimate goal in life. I saw it as this magical feeling that would somehow solve everything. Like once I found the right person, everything would click into place. But over time, my perspective started to shift. I remember asking myself, what actually is love? Not the movie version, not the fairy tale, but the real thing. And honestly, I struggled to define it. Even when I asked some of the women I dated, they'd throw out different ideas, but none of them had a clear answer either. It made me realize something. So many of us are chasing love without even knowing what we're actually looking for. When I finally looked up the definition, it was surprisingly simple. A strong feeling of affection. But that didn't explain much. And when I started reflecting on my past experiences, I noticed a pattern. What a lot of people call love is actually just neediness. It's that feeling of, I need this person in my life, or without them, I don't feel complete. We see it everywhere in movies and songs, characters saying, I can't live without you, or you complete me. And for a long time, I thought that was what love was supposed to feel like. But the problem is, when love is based on neediness, it stops being something healthy. I started to ask myself, do I really want to be in love if it means constantly depending on someone else for my happiness? That realization changed everything. Instead of focusing on love as some abstract, all-powerful force, I started prioritizing connection. And honestly, that shift made my relationships so much better. Connection to me means genuinely enjoying someone's company, having deep conversations and growing together, not just holding on to them out of fear of being alone. I also started thinking about love in a more selfless way. If I truly care about someone, that should mean wanting the best for them, even if that doesn't always involve me. But so many relationships fall apart because people see love as possession. I love you, but only if you stay with me. If you leave, then I hate you. That's not love. That's attachment. And I've realized that real love isn't about clinging on to someone, but appreciating the time you share together, no matter how long it lasts. At the end of the day, what really matters in life are the experiences we have. And when I started focusing on building strong connections, instead of chasing some vague idea of love, my relationships improved massively. I stopped trying to force something that wasn't there, and instead, I started appreciating the real, meaningful moments I had with people. So if you've ever felt stuck, chasing love, and wondering why it's not working out, maybe try shifting your focus. Instead of asking, how can I find love? Ask, how can I create meaningful connections? That small change in mindset might make all the difference. So that's the end of the story. And you might find yourself feeling similarly to the author and what they describe as love, but you might also be feeling differently. If you are feeling similarly, how is it that you would create strong and meaningful relationships and connections in your life? I'd love to hear more about what is coming up for you. Go ahead and drop that down in the comments down below and get in on the conversation. As far as me, I feel like what automatically comes up for me when I think of creating strong connections with others is a recent video that I made about empathy and how empathy connects us to others through their feelings and emotions. If you're more interested in that, check out the description below and get a link to that video on empathy versus sympathy. I'll also go ahead and link it at the end of this video. I'm also thinking about a recent conversation that I had with someone when it came to love. And they shared with me that their perspective on love was beginning to shift and change. And they found themselves in a place where they were more desiring something much more natural and organic. And when they explained to me what that meant to them, they shared that for them, this meant that they didn't want the other person to fill in any gaps for them. They wanted to feel whole on their own, not like the other person was making them whole. In other words, they wanted to feel like there was nothing that the other person needed of them or was asking of them, and there was nothing that they needed to obtain from the other person either. To me, that sounds a little like unconditional love or love without expectations. They also shared that this was prompting them to begin to think about how they needed to trust in themselves that they would be able to make themselves whole. And that occurred to me how scary that might feel. And then I started to think about my own fears and vulnerabilities when it comes to this idea of feeling whole on my own and not having a love that stems from, as this author in this story calls, neediness. How much trust I would need in myself that I am showing up in the world as a whole person and everyone I am inviting in is also whole on their own. And while yes, this might feel scary, it also feels freeing in many ways because I feel like it starts to really shift my perspective on love in a few different ways. The first being that it allows me to continue on my healing journey of expansion and growth so that I can become that whole individual that is not needing someone else to fill in the gaps for them, and that is allowing others to come in also as their whole selves, not needing me to fill in the gaps for them either. And that what we share is a bond created on connection, a connection on feelings, emotions, and vulnerabilities, rather than on requirements. The second way is it allows me to accept others just as they are, not as I need them to be. To make the decision to either share that connection and bond with the other or not. And in the third way that it begins to shift shift my perspective is that it allows me to more easily release others who fall out of this realm with me. Because if I have created these connections through a bond rather than a need, I can more easily let go or release those who fall out of that sphere with me. And with all of this, I encourage you to sit with those questions. Sit with what it is that love means to you and how it is that you desire to achieve those types of relationships in your life. Well, my friend, that is all I have for this video. If you have found it useful or helpful in any way, please hit that like button down below. If you are interested in getting more content like it to increase the space and the safety for insight, please subscribe to the channel down below. And if you are ready to continue your journey, there is a affirmation meditation for creating space for love and attracting the love that you want down here. I have also attached, as promised, my video up here on sympathy versus empathy. And also, down in the description, you are going to find a link to your free gift, which is a book, a guide on how to create your own safe space for insight. Well, my friend, that's all I have. Until next time, bye for now.